I'm Harry Mays, and what about all this hand-wringing on the cornerback position? The Eagles are stacked at cornerback.
Ooh, I'm Jason Martinez. No big surprises in cutdown day.
Yeah, but you know what? As Howie Roseman said, we're not done. We're going to talk about Howie's cold cuts and more on this edition of Locked On Eagles Squad Show.
Fly, Eagles, fly. It's the Eagles Squad, sponsored by Gametime. Everything Philadelphia Eagles every week, covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the city of brotherly love, the way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Get ready and squad up. It's the Eagles Squad Show starting now.
And welcome in once again to Locked On Eagles Squad Show. Jason Martinez, Harry Mays, I'm Marc Farzad, and Louie DiBiase, our friend Luigi, will be joining us hopefully a little bit later in the show. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to all things Locked On Sports, especially Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. I agree with pretty much everything you guys open with there. There's no huge surprises here by any means by Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni, who just took to the podium there addressing the media when it came to the cold cuts made by the team today. But let's start it off with the cornerback position, because this was something that was kicked around quite a bit throughout the offseason. This is something that's been kicked around quite a bit through training camp and through the preseason. As we know, and I'm going to flash up here on the screen for the people watching, some of the cuts right there, these are the players that were waived. So if the Eagles were really looking to retain somebody, odds are their name is on this list to be practice squad players. We'll also talk about the players that were released. But here you see a guy like Eli Ricks, who they liked, who we knew going into today that he wasn't going to be back because that information came out yesterday. A.J. Woods also on this list. Brandon Johnson also on this list. Also, Tariq Castro-Fields, who was hurt. He's on this list as well. Harry, you started it off with the cornerback conversation. Why do you think everything is going to be okay for this Eagles secondary?
Well, I don't know if that it's going to be okay, but it's like we were sitting here, wondering about, Adoree Jackson versus Kelee Ringo was the big battle at the beginning of training camp, and that quickly dissipated into Kelee Ringo, no longer getting first team reps, and then this McWilliams guy emerged in a couple of these preseason games, looking really active, and you were hearing all the stuff about how Vic Fangio really likes him, so you knew he was going to be here, and that kind of made you feel a little bit better about the depth. They made the trade and brought in Bennett, who I actually thought played reasonably well in the preseason. He looks like a guy that's kind of a sticky corner. He's got speed and he's got long arms and can deflect a lot of balls. So I'm starting to feel pretty good about it. They kept 6 guys at the cornerback position. So Fangio must have eyes, on Ringo too, that he feels he can work him in maybe as the season goes along, and hopefully with more reps maybe in practice and stuff and getting in games, maybe late in games, this guy can start to really get his feet as a pro.
Yeah, I saw this question as to whether or not Ja'Cory Bennett, if he would have been here a week earlier, if he would have been named the starting quarterback. Not that the starters have been named yet,
right?
As Nick Sirianni said moments ago. I don't want to give Dallas the advantage. He was talking about it in context of punt and kick returner. So yes, please don't get. Well,
it's going to be Cooper DeJean. I got news for you.
I am unfortunately coming to that. But Jason, on that same note, Howie Roseman just spoke moments ago about Cooper DeJean and feeling great about the cornerback position. I feel good about our roster. Now, granted,
I like Nick that Sirianni, room, he said. I like that room.
I like that room, right. So you'll love this, because I always think of Paul Holmgren, because he said, I like our team, and then like the captain and leading scorer were traded like 24 hours later.
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni did a small variation of that following the last preseason game there against the Jets when he was asked about Kyle McCord. I like our team. I like where our team's at right now. I like where our room's at right now. And then snip, snip. Kyle McCord all of a sudden is gone. Sam Howell in. We'll get to that conversation. But Howie just talked about how he liked the cornerback room right now. How are you feeling about the cornerback room as it stands after the cuts?
I know he's saying he likes it, but he's nervous about it. He absolutely is, because you look at the defense and you assess everything. You go, okay, I got all these rooms. I got my D-line. I got my linebacker room. And the cornerback one's the one that's got some question marks going into the season. And some guys didn't, answer the bell in a resounding fashion in the preseason. And I don't know that you can anymore in the preseason, or that maybe you ever could to some degree with the way preseason games are played with the opposition up. We all know what the preseason is, but it is what it is right now, and it's going to be up to Vic Fangio to use the best personnel in every situation and see where it goes, and know when a guy might be surpassing another guy, whether that's Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson. We'll see.
I mean, why would he be worried about it, though? I mean, honestly, it's an honest
because you got to
question.
worry about something, Harry. And the other area,
well, the fans have to worry about it. You said the coach is worried about it.
No. I said the GM. The GM is always worrying and looking around.
Well, yeah, that's their job. But I mean, you got to feel pretty good that you got two studs, young players.
He feels great about that.
Two of the outside positions. I mean, the slot cornerback position, or nickel, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Are we totally enamored with those guys? No. But I mean, I sort of what I said like a week ago.
It's not
how many out of the 32 teams feel good about 3 starting cornerbacks that they're going to run out there in week 1? How many?
And you can also scheme around that a little bit too, right?
Right.
And you have a really good defensive.
How about we get a pass rush?
Yeah, well, without having to blitz to do it too, to really protect you. But I mean, look, I think a GM worries about his weakest link all the time, and that has to be it on that side of the ball. I don't think there's any question about that. Some question marks. Who's
the
going to start on the
position.
Yeah, well, that's a question mark.
I mean,
right?
that's a question mark because the one is a young player that's been injured twice already. He looks good when he's able to play, but how available is Makuba going to be?
And that's a huge question because of his size coming into the NFL.
Yeah.
So
and who's
availability is the best ability.
Who's backing him? Another young safety who's also been injured a lot. So
Sidney Brown. Yeah,
Sidney
right.
Brown. Exactly.
Right.
So put it this way. Let's acknowledge something here, because I want to get this out of the way, just for the people that like the things that well, if they stay healthy, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's get the obvious out of the way for the people that need it. I think we all can acknowledge that it's nice to have problems that are down the depth chart for the most part.
Yeah.
They're not surface level. They're down there a little bit. You got to dig a little bit, okay? So I will say that, and I've said this throughout the offseason, no matter who's going to win it, if it's Adoree Jackson or Keely Ringo, but now you also talk about Mac McWilliams. Now you also have to talk about Jacorian Bennett along with Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo. It's nice to be talking about a position that you're barely going to be relying on, considering Cooper DeJean is supposed to be this Swiss Army knife on the defense. He's supposed to be the jack of all trades on the defense when it comes to safety, outside corner, and nickel. Listening to Howie Roseman talk about Cooper DeJean again today just made me go, wait, there has to be a better answer than Cooper DeJean. You just do everything we need. That's not occupied.
He's on the field for every snap. You just don't know where he's going to play him, but he's on there for every snap.
He is a third-string running back, Harry.
Yeah.
In base, I'm ecstatic about that. Fine. Go line up on the outside. I love it. But in nickel, I don't want him at safety. At nickel, I want him at nickel. I want him
as the nickel
covering
back.
the slot. Exactly.
Right.
So for me, that just still rubs me the wrong way. And then when you also look at Makuba or Sidney Brown, I'm supposed to be excited about that's not even that far down the depth chart. You're talking about who your starter is going to be, and even if it's Makuba, how healthy is he? How long is he going to be healthy? And even if you're talking about Sidney Brown, it's the same type of thing. How long is he going to be healthy? So as much as we'd love to talk about how great the defense is, and I do think they're going to be fine, I do think overall they're going to be great, I still have a concern that you have a position of need still very much on this defense. And when we talk about base, by the way, they're hardly ever in it. So you are talking about a position you are going to have some need at when you talk about the outside corner role when Cooper DeJean is wherever else he's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, too. If you're going, you have to get to nickel to really find an issue. Then
right.
You're starting to dig pretty deep. And look, that's the situation we're in because the general manager, after winning the Super Bowl, has managed to come back and retool it again. So, I mean, this is a great position to be in. I mean, we're picking a scab that doesn't need to be picked because you have to pick a scab. You know what I mean?
Right.
So where it goes, we'll see. But I got all the faith in Vic Fangio in the world that he's going to deploy the assets that he has the proper way.
Will Justin Simmons be on a roster by Sunday? On a roster. I'm not saying the Eagles roster. He's still out there, right?
I am. I'm saying the Eagles.
Oh,
roster.
you're still saying it.
I'm not dying. I'm going to die on this hill. Okay. I'm going to die on Justin Simmons.
I'm good with that.
I'm going to be famished while I'm at the top of this hill waiting for him to get signed. But
that's not the Keely Ringo Hill, is it, Harry?
No, it's not.
No,
That's a
no.
different
Speaking
hill.
of the Keely Ringo Hill, I teased this earlier. Louie
There he is.
DiBiase, ladies and gentlemen.
Locked on Luigi
brutal
right
intro.
on
Brutal
time.
intro. I deserve that, though. I deserve that.
No, come on.
We missed you, man.
I still believe. I'm not giving up. I still believe.
Hey, look, your guy's still on the team. My
He's
guy's
still on the
not team.
roster.
I was
Yeah,
going to say,
Keely
he's
Ringo's
still
still here.
playable.
Yeah.
I mean, I
We're
don't
going to
know-
see him.
I don't believe in
Still
any of these guys,
playable.
really. But
Can he
they're all on the
return
roster.
punts, Louis? Can Keely Ringo maybe return punts?
No, I mean, you guys talking about Cooper DeJean being the jack of all trades. He's going to have to do that, too. I mean, they cut Avery Williams, Ananias Smith. I don't know who else is going to do it.
Yeah. Jahan Dotson, does he get
Yeah.
back here a little bit? I don't know. Okay, Louie, we've been talking a lot about the cornerback position. Obviously, Keely Ringo has been the guy that you've talked a lot about. How do you see this cornerback battle being settled? Is it just clear-cut Adoree Jackson, or has Jacorian Bennett done enough to really get into that mix?
I don't think Adoree Jackson has earned the starting job. I just think by default, because nobody else won it, they're going to go with the veteran that has starting experience. I would still much rather have Jacorian Bennett or Keely Ringo play, because I think throughout the course of the season, Keely Ringo might not be better than Adoree Jackson right now, but by week 8, week 12, kind of like a lot of the young players last year, he'll play better into that role, and there's still a higher ceiling. So I just still have not been given a better alternative to Keely Ringo starting this year. I still don't believe that guy's on the roster, but yeah, by default, because clearly the Eagles don't see the same thing, I think it is Adoree Jackson. But I'm not feeling great about that in a vacuum. But overall, if that's going to be like your worst starter in the secondary, I still think you're going to be fine. Like, these are first world problems. Most Super Bowl contenders aren't built like the 2024 Eagles, where some positions they have to win with, not win because of, and not most teams don't win because of their third string corner.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask this then. And look, I'm just trying to acknowledge what I think is absolutely a reality, and it's my own perception, which is my own reality. But we are talking about two positions here that are going to be on the field quite a bit, obviously, in nickel, and Cooper DeJean can't play two at one time. So that
Who
leaves
says?
at least
Maybe he can.
yeah, I can see Fangio being up there in the booth, just
They're
being like
cloning
throwing in his Zane, whatever, and just being like, hey, you know what? I just need 10 guys on defense because Cooper's going to play both on these positions there. That's fine. In all seriousness, like, if there's a concern, like, here's my issue. We talked about question marks, like dealing out question marks. Offensively, it was like right guard, and that's pretty solid. That's been solid since day one. Left guard, you can still talk about right now because of the injury to Landon Dickerson. But then on the defensive side of the ball, man, we were doling out the question marks. Two of those question marks still very much exist, and that's at the safety position, and that's at the outside corner position. And if it's not outside corner, then who is playing nickel? So those questions are still there for me. And Louie, to your point, hey, look, you could be, and I'm not saying you are, all right, I'm not accusing you of anything, but you could be the biggest Keely Ringo fan in the world. You could be Keely Ringo's cousin or something.
You could say it. I am. I'm a Ringo guy. Yeah, it's fine. I'm
a
owning it.
Ringo
I
guy.
like Ringo Starr.
There you go. You could look at it like that and be the biggest fan. But if he's getting beat out by Adoree Jackson, and we all know Adoree Jackson isn't exactly all pro material.
Right. He's not
Then
Revis Island for sure.
Right.
Right.
So that just means the what do you call it? The least smelliest kid won. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just those are still two questions that we have about those two positions that we had before camp started.
But like Louis said, and I don't want to put his next words in his mouth. Did Adoree Jackson win the job like on merit?
I don't think he earned a spot on the roster. I don't think he was good enough to even warrant a spot on the 53 throughout the preseason. And I don't know what was going on in practice, but I looked at a guy that couldn't cover in space, gave up way too much depth, couldn't really tackle. Yeah. I still think he'll be a bigger liability than Ringo this season. But Mark's right. I mean, Ringo didn't go out there and earn the job. He clearly wasn't the obvious answer, and that is concerning. But my counter is, their problems, the Eagles, if that's the Eagles' biggest issue is who's the third string corner, go look at the other really good teams in the NFL and ask what the Detroit Lions issue is, or the Buffalo Bills, or even the Chiefs, and they're way bigger problems still. So I think we do need to eventually like zoom out a little bit on what the Eagles' issues are, because I still think Ringo or even Adoree Jackson's good enough. It's not going to hold them back where they can't compete for a Super Bowl. I mean, they won a Super Bowl with Jalen Mills and Ronald Darby as starting corners.
No, they lost.
Darby,
as far as
wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
How
right.
about that name? That was
He
They
made
didn't
a
stop
huge
anybody
play
in the
against
Super Bowl,
Minnesota too, didn't he? You know, the interception touchdown.
Patrick
Robinson,
Robertson.
but
Oh, Patrick
Ronald Darby
Robinson.
still. Yeah.
he sacrificed his body on that block. He got drilled
Yeah.
by Jerick McKinnon. So
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna say this. We've Jason, I believe you've referenced the House of Cards before. Where you ever remove a card? I'm gonna say of all the people I was a little disappointed in the cornerback room that are no longer on the team, it's not Eli Ricks. It's my man, Perry Nickerson. That man balled out against the Jets. Granted, it was the Jets.
Oh,
But I'm gonna tell
got
you,
the interception.
It was he got the interception, and it was a baller interception. He also had some physical plays as well. I'm going to say this. Reed Blankenship, if you remember, in that final preseason game, I think most people thought he was still going to make the roster, but he sealed the deal in his last preseason game leading up to obviously things getting underway in his NFL career. But I thought that Perry Nickerson had an opportunity to be kind of the next Reed Blankenship, where he'd be a guy in the secondary to really step up and take it in the last preseason game. And this is a guy that got released. He didn't even get waived. He got released. So now he can just go anywhere. Doesn't even have to go through waivers or anything. So now that's someone that I thought if there was one guy that I was really rooting for, banging a drum for after the last preseason game that I thought did everything he should have done, it was Perry Nickerson. So they're not going to win the Super Bowl now because of Perry Nickerson.
Me too, though. He's an American Conference guy, played at
That's
Tulane.
right.
I always root for those guys to make teams.
Well, I mean, I even asked if he was a descendant of the Hardy Nickerson.
No, he's not.
He's not. But
He's not.
But I liked him.
Hardy was my man. I lived in Tampa when he was on the Buccaneers, man. That guy could ball.
Creamsicle unis then, too.
Yeah.
And you look at it, and I thought he did it enough, too. I thought he looked good. And the thing is, I saw this vignette that the Eagles put out about Reed Blankenship and how he made the team and how he found out. And it's a great parallel. I thought maybe that was in the cards for Nickerson here. But I did find it odd they didn't waive him. I thought he certainly showed enough to at least be waived,
And
not
brought
just
back on the practice squad or something. Yeah.
I was a little stunned by that evaluation.
What is the move that they made getting rid of the long snapper? Explain this move to me. They got to bring him back, right?
Well, I forget the issue, but Lovato's obviously elsewhere now. Humphrey, I don't. Yeah, right. I honestly don't know. I don't know what they do with it. I mean, now put it this way: you want to talk about digging deep for problems on a team? I'll never forget leading up to 2017. John Dorenbos had just been traded, and I don't think Nick Foles played in the preseason. So I was like, oh, man. If you're talking about your backup quarterback and you're talking about your long snapper, odds are you got a pretty good roster.
Team. Yeah.
And that ended up being probably the deepest roster to ever win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Them and the Green Bay Packers in 2010 that had 18 different guys on injured reserve throughout the year. If the Lions would have won this past year, that would have been something. But that's how you know you got a pretty damn good football team. But I do think it's legitimate. I don't think it's crazy to talk about two positions, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and we could trust Vic Fangio all we want. That's still a spot that's going to be out there the majority of the time that Cooper DeJean can't play both spots, and you're also or all three spots when you're also talking about the safety position. And listening to Howie Roseman a couple minutes ago, it just seemed like, whatever we tell Cooper to do, he's going to do great. And that's four positions, including punt returner. Unfortunately,
maybe Reno Mahe is still available. They could sign him.
Is he still seating people at Chickies and Pete's?
He was bartending, and then he was returning punts. Remember that?
They pulled him out of Chickie and Pete's.
Yeah,
they did.
Is he a BYU guy?
He's a BYU guy.
Good pull by me, Harry.
Exactly
Mr.
right.
Football, they call me.
You know you're Mormons.
Yeah, exactly right.
Hindsight's probably 2020, but do you guys think they're getting a little bit of remorse about not bringing back Darius Slay? I mean, they did give Ringo this chance, and they had to let Slay and Rodgers go to fully give him the opportunity. But I do feel like now looking back, they're probably we'd love to have him as our third corner for at least one more year before we find more of a long-term
He's under contract.
replacement. Yeah,
that's
the thing. They didn't have to get rid of him. Yeah,
right. They didn't have to. His game's not what it was.
Where's he? Pittsburgh?
Is he a better option?
Yeah.
He just couldn't stay on the field. The issue was he was very Jason Peters like last year, where he'd come out of the third quarter. It felt like at least he'd miss a couple drives every single game. But it wasn't like a C.J. Gardner-Johnson thing where they knew eventually he was going to ask for another giant contract. So, again, hindsight's 2020. I would have did the same thing at the time. But I think if they could go back and undo that, they probably would bring Slay back.
But even Isaiah Rodgers, where's he?
Minnesota. I think he's going to end up starting.
Okay.
Yeah. 1 year at $10 million for Darius Slay is what he ended up getting in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, like
I don't
I'd
think the
probably
Eagles were
pay
going
that
10
right
million.
now. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah,
but for 1 year, I might sign up for that now.
Well, I mean, why do that
But
when you
again-
just give it to Justin Simmons on Monday? You know what I mean? Come
Well,
on.
there you go. See,
That
here we
might
go.
I'm not unlike corner safety. I'm more concerned about just Makuba's injuries. But I
Yeah.
thought if he's healthy, I think he's going to be
He's
a very high quality starter.
That's a
Absolutely.
huge
But-
question mark.
Yeah, because he's already
Yeah.
been. I'm concerned
Twice.
too. He's been injured twice, and that was his thing coming out of Texas. Was like his build is small, it's skinny. Like, can he hold up with the way he plays? And that's both him and Sidney Brown. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Mark might get his wish at some point.
Yeah, I'm going to wish it into existence. Don't
Sidney
you worry.
Brown would run in front of a truck.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I mean, he's
Right.
Yeah.
he's just
He reads plays great
he does.
and shoots in there, but
Yeah.
And he
Can he
tackles
stay
with his head, with the top
Yeah.
of his head.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if Justin Simmons does get signed by the Eagles, we are going to have to convene an emergency podcast.
Oh,
it's got to
absolutely.
happen.
I don't care if
Farzy,
I'm
I don't
driving.
care if you're in pajamas smoking a cigar. We're having a podcast.
and the
We'll all
Phils are in the
chip in.
bottom of the
We'll,
eighth.
We'll chip in.
Oh,
We'll
hell
get
yeah.
him a Justin Simmons jersey to wear.
yeah, there you go.
Please. But I have earned it, at least at this point.
You
But
would definitely have earned it. Yeah.
I will say, though, Howie just said, and it was the most inspiring thing, we're not done. And I know he's never done. I
No,
know
he's
Howie's
never
always
done.
making calls. I get it. We all get it.
Yeah.
We all understand. We all know Howie well enough by now. But I don't think he means we're not done as in, oh, yeah, we're not done in making cuts. We're not done in making acquisitions. I think he means we're not done as in, yeah, I kind of noticed that this roster, although good to great as it's compiled now, and our offense is still going to be one hell of a star of this show, we still got work to do on this defense. And I do think that there's a starter out there that could be on this team. And yes, I do think it's Justin Simmons. And I now the question is, I'll answer this question because we got to get to the break, but I'll answer this question when we come back. And it just comes out like, well, why not already? Why isn't he already?
What are you waiting for?
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. What are we waiting for? So we'll talk about that more when we return. This is Locked On Eagles. Now, Louie, do we have you for the rest of the show? Are you able to hang?
Yep, I'm good to go.
I know you're the man. All right. So when we come back, all four of us will be back after this. This is Locked On Eagles show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Let me tell you about Yahoo Fantasy. If you guys are taking advantage of Yahoo Fantasy, do what I do. Play Yahoo Fantasy. It's the way to go. This episode is brought to you by Yahoo Fantasy. The NFL season just around the corner. Cut down day, of course, going on right today at 4 p.m. Fantasy football season is here as well. Everyone's researching, drafting, and building their championship squads. If you haven't joined a league yet, now's the time, and it's all happening on Yahoo Fantasy. This year, I'm playing Yahoo Fantasy again. 13 years now on Yahoo Fantasy, with the season kicking off September 4th with your Birds and Cowboys. Not your Cowboys, I hope. Now's the time to start playing Yahoo Fantasy Football with offers to play different ways of fantasy football, different forms of fantasy football. If you want to play instantly with friends, you could do that. New draft with friends mode. And how about this? Yahoo Fantasy Guillotine League mode. NFL season kicks off September 4th, so don't wait. And the Guillotine League modes are a lot of fun, where the lowest scoring team gets eliminated weekly until one team is standing in the Guillotine League. So the new NFL season kicks off September 4th, as if you didn't know that already, Eagles fans. So don't wait. Start your league now. Draft now at yahoofantasy.com/lockedonnfl. That's yahoofantasy.com/lockedonnfl.
Now, Farzy, are you one of these guys with fantasy that will not draft a Dallas Cowboy player?
Yes.
You are?
Yes. Again,
I won't draft
You never
Yes.
took like a Zeke or, a good receiver if he was there, high value for you.
No, because if they score, you're going to be miserable anyway. Like, there's just no enjoyment out of that.
Yeah, I guarantee disappointment is what happens there. I have let me think.
There's money on the line.
Because I bet the Cowboys to win sometimes.
Yeah.
You know.
If you got a really good line, Harry, you feel good about
Yeah.
it.
Our viewers are not going to like that. I see the unscribed numbers going down as we speak.
Well, not against the Eagles,
Brutal.
but
Yeah. I think I was down a tight end in the tail end of the career of Jason Witten, and I had to have a tight end in my
Yeah, I
roster.
liked him.
I remember
He was likable.
Yeah, he seemed like
except
a
when he
nice
went to
guy.
the booth, he was terrible.
Oh,
That was not
horrible.
good. And he betrayed the
Horrible.
bald community. He betrayed
He
the bald
did.
community.
He did.
He did.
Yeah, with that rug. Oh, that was awful.
Terrible.
They shot a squirrel on the way to the stadium and
That
just
was-
draped it on his head with a chin strap. That thing was
That
awful.
terrible.
Oh.
But I do look forward to the guillotine leagues. And also, I think I've thrown this out before.
Terrible.
My brother, Jason, who you've met, he's doing the in-person draft again. I can't be there.
Oh,
In the digital age.
you're virtual?
In this day and age, I got to be there virtually with literally like one of my brother's friends with his phone like propped up to see the sticker draft board.
Yeah.
Amish or something.
Sharpie.
We got to do it this way. Yeah.
You're like the stadium scoreboard at Fenway Park still. They're flipping the numbers in there.
Hey, I've been in that scoreboard.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It smells like a barn.
Yes, it does.
It's true. Let me answer this question. And it has to do with Justin Simmons. Why not? Why haven't they signed Justin Simmons yet? Okay. The reason is he's holding out. He was holding out for somebody to get injured, somebody to get hurt, and he could still do that for a couple of more days. And also cuts, also rookies, how they're panning out and all that stuff. And if I'm Justin Simmons and I'm looking at the Eagles, there's the obvious connection there with Vic Fangio, knowing the scheme, knowing the system, knowing the coach, blah, blah, blah. But then there's also, this is interesting. So if you mean to tell me that you drafted a safety in the second round and you thought he'd be your starter and he can't even get through camp or the preseason healthy, that might make, that's interesting. You might need me a little bit more. That price might go up a little bit more. That's why it hasn't happened yet. And it's not like Howie Roseman has ever waited to the last minute to get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, or how about this name for you? If this was on your bingo card, polish it off and get the pen ready, folks. Okay. Nickel Roby-Coleman, corner, not a safety, but still a late addition. So it's not like this hasn't happened before. Now's the time. I'd go to bed over the next couple of what do we got? 10 days here?
9.
9 days.
9.
Next 9 days, including a little smattering of vacation for me and the fam. I'd go to bed a little bit easier those nights, knowing that Justin Simmons has an Eagles jersey. And yes, of course, I have his jersey at the same time.
9 days, 2 hours.
2 hours and 43 minutes. Yeah.
But who's
Creeping
counting?
on.
Yep.
That's
Harry
right.
and I are addicted to the countdown clock.
Yep.
How much do you worry, though, that the guy has been sitting around while everybody else has been putting in the work?
Oh, he's putting in work.
It's different kind of work, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
He had the Eagle shirt on and he was running around.
He knows the system.
See, yeah,
Ben
he wants
Simmons
to be
put
an
in
Eagle
the
so
work,
bad.
too.
It makes me not want him to be an Eagle. It's kind of pathetic. He's like wearing Eagles clothing already. But I think the issue is once you sign Justin Simmons, he's your other starter next to Reed Blankenship, and you just spent a second-round pick on a safety. I'd like to see him get a chance in the regular season first, especially having a pick six and a fumble recovery in the only game he's played in before
we're just
we
looking
make
for
that
1 year
commitment.
here, though.
But the problem is, like, I don't know. For me, like, Justin Simmons is just a player you sign and then, he's your third or fourth safety. Like, if you're signing him, it's to start.
Oh, start.
Yeah.
And I want to see Makuba. Like, that was a significant investment. That's the first safety you drafted in the top 2 rounds since 2011, right? So, and I know, like you said, it's only a 1 year deal probably, but Makuba's not seriously injured, so I'd like to see him first get that chance in the regular season. If he gets banged up, okay. But I still feel like it's a premature move to do that. I want to see Brown and Makuba first in the regular season. But I feel like Simmons is going to wait for us at this point. That's what it feels like. It's like the Eagles are bust.
He could. He absolutely could. There's one position that we haven't even mentioned yet, and it has to do with the news that broke late last or over the weekend, rather, fellas. I don't know where you guys were, but I was out in the yard. I was watering the plants. I was having myself a great beginning, great middle of the day, whatever it was, And I get the note there from Adam Schefter, the notification that the Eagles went out and traded for Sam Howell to be a backup quarterback on this roster. I think a lot of us might have jumped immediately to, that finger injury. That's probably worse than it is. Turns out it's a thumb for Tanner McKee. Not great. We also know that Dorian Thompson-Robinson did not play in the final preseason game, which is either a really good thing or a really bad thing. In this case, it was a really bad thing. And also, Kyle McCord looked not great in that final game, who also, by the way, today was released. Waived. So likely end up on the practice squad again for the Eagles if they decide to go that route. Sam Howell coming here. Louie, I'll ask you this first. What was your reaction to getting Sam Howell here to be your backup quarterback?
I love it. I think Sam Howell can be one of the best backups in football.
He's serviceable. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his 2023 tape and the numbers. Like, he's not a franchise quarterback, but you look at those 2 games against the Eagles. He balled out, and he was close in those games in shootouts. They actually went, I think, like a month and a half straight where Sam Howell was throwing at least 40 passing attempts or more, and he showed that he's serviceable. So it was a QB2 with a lot of talent in this offense. If he had to play, I think he could be a good quarterback. And Tanner McKee, I think he's still QB2, but bringing in Howell now gives you the optionality. If a team were to come to you with a good offer for Tanner McKee, you could now have the flexibility to move him at some point in the next year or two. Whereas if it was just Kyle McCord and DTR, even if a team offered you like a 2nd-round pick for McKee, I don't think you could afford to do that. Now with Howell, if someone did come to you this year and, kind of like in 2016 with Bridgewater, if there's a starting quarterback injury, you could be like, hey, let's get a couple day 2 picks for Tanner McKee. You couldn't do that before. So it's kind of having your cake and eating it too, where you have a high-end QB room right now. I mean, Howell's probably the best QB3 in football. And then if you want to trade McKee at some point, I think you can do that now.
He started 18 NFL games. That's rare.
Right.
Yeah. He threw for almost 4,000 yards one year with Washington, with a bad team in Washington.
Yeah.
But
17 games.
This is pure quarterback factory 101 right here with Howie Roseman. No, I mean, you send him in a 6th-round pick to Minnesota, who wanted their 5th-round pick back that they used to get him from Seattle, I believe, on draft day. That trade was made. So they wanted a 5th-rounder back. They wanted to get up in the 5th round. Howie's like, sure, take a 5th. And a 7th, and you give us your 6th and Sam Howell, because Sam Howell, like Louie was saying, is very serviceable. I mean, he's a guy. He's definitely the best string quarterback in the league, without question.
Definitely.
And he's better than a lot of 2nd-string quarterbacks, and probably could start for a team. Like, there's probably one team out there that Sam Howell could probably start for.
Saints.
Yeah, Saints. They just named Ritter, I think, their starter.
Yeah.
No, the guy from
Yeah.
South Carolina,
Spencer Rattler.
Spencer Rattler. Yeah. I mean, come on, Rattler stinks.
Well, Tanner McKee could start there for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Real quick,
Actually,
Sam Howell. In that game against
go ahead.
Philly, not to interrupt, he went 39 of 52 against the Eagles, a 75% completion percentage, and 4 touchdowns. Like, he's capable of putting up that kind of game, and he's QB3. Like, that's a great move, and you barely gave up anything.
That sounds like one of the stat lines at North Carolina when he was in college.
The Eagles technically keeping Wentz employed, because if they don't trade for Howell, he doesn't have a job still. So
But now if a starter goes down somewhere, and somebody's gonna, Howie could end up flipping this guy for a 4th-rounder.
Sure,
that's the quarterback factory.
That's the asset management. I get something for a price, and I get rid of it for a better price.
Right.
He got picks for Kenny Pickett. I mean, you can get picks for anybody.
Is Kenny Pickett with the Raiders now? Mm-hmm. Did I say? Yeah. Okay.
He did go to that was the latest trade.
Small hands to the Raiders. Wow.
It was interesting because Howie, when he just spoke with the media with Nick Sirianni talking about cutdown day, talked about, no, I don't worry about the 53-man. I worry about the 70-man roster. He's got to be looking at it from all angles. And he said, I'm going to be looking. When this press conference over, I want to go upstairs, see who's out there and see who's dealing and those kind of things, because you never know when you may need a guy to step up into a bigger, role in a situation, and you want to be as strong as you can in this league. So,
all right. Let me ask you guys a question here. I mean,
he's not done.
53 guys, right? You're only allowed, and you're allotting one of these spots to a fullback. I want to get your real thoughts on this, because when you start thinking about this, like, you could have an extra wide receiver, you could have an extra safety. There's many different things you can do. How much are they going to be utilizing Van Summer, and how beneficial will he really be to this football team to take that roster spot?
He must be doing something really important on special teams.
Is he going to long snap?
I think it's a waste of a roster
right now,
spot.
I think it is too. I agree with you, Lou.
You have the best offensive line in football, a top 3 rushing quarterback, and the best running back. Like, you don't need a fullback to assist that run game. And he's been a fullback for a year and a half.
Now, can he long snap? Because maybe he could do double duty here or something.
Well,
I don't know.
You're also talking about somebody as a linebacker, as a fullback, and somebody that can catch out of the backfield, and a guy that they really love. This was the word, and I hate this word, but it's a word a lot of GMs, coaches, raw. He was so raw, and they could just tell they can mold him into something. I still think they look at him as a project.
Just
Well,
use Quadzilla
to
as
your point, I
fullback.
think
AJ Dillon. I mean, he's got the
Right.
legs for it.
Right.
Is it maybe they want to use him in some tight end situations? I mean, they used to use Keith Byers in tight end situations because of the
Possibly.
build.
Keith Byers had unbelievable hands.
He did.
Yeah.
From Ohio State.
Yeah, I think they look at him as just very versatile. I think they look at him as the
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean of the offense.
Oh.
That's what I look at.
Oh, let's not get carried away.
What a take.
But he may be a guy holding a spot there right now too. That they're
Right.
just gonna end up changing that with somebody they claim or some kind of roster change.
Yeah.
What the 53 man today? I guarantee it will not be the 53 man when they play the Cowboys. Something will be different.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I agree. I absolutely agree with that. By the way, listen to this. Now, I don't do yoga, but listen to this stretch for a second, okay? So the Vikings now get Carson Wentz. So he's playing for his childhood favorite team, okay? Playing is a strong word. But anyway, he's with them now. Indirectly, again, I said a stretch. The Eagles taking Sam Howell opened the door for Carson Wentz. The Vikings wanted Carson Wentz, got him. Now the Eagles have an opportunity where they could trade either Howell or Tanner McKee as the season goes on, whatever, get more picks back in return, and those picks became available because Carson Wentz went to Minnesota.
So does this technically
Wow.
expand that Wentz trade timeline?
Damn right it does.
Jeez.
A.J.
The web.
Brown and all that. All the
Yeah,
people
does
that
this
are on
continue
that list.
that? Or
Or
does this
Devontae
start a
Smith,
new
rather.
branch? Does this start a new branch?
It's
Maybe
it's-
this trade will
it's-
start a whole new one where you just get
It's
all
a-
these
yeah.
stars from this too.
That tree dropped a seed, which then birthed
Wow.
another
Another
tree of
Wentz
picks.
tree. The
Bradley
Wentz
Rosen.
wagon's carrying
And it kept
seeds
Carson
now.
employed. So.
That's what it
Jeez.
is, exactly. You got to feel good about that. Quarterback
He's
factory.
the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz.
All right, we've covered a lot of cornerbacks. We talked a lot about safety. We sprinkled in the quarterback conversation there when it comes to Sam Howell coming to this team. When you guys look at the roster, and I'll ask you this when we call, I'll ask you this now, and for our viewers as well, I'll make sure I go through our chat as well. We appreciate you guys joining us for this live Locked On Eagle Squad show. But I'll ask this question. Where's the concern? Now that the first initial cuts have come through, you've gotten the roster whittled down now. Where's the concern when you look at this football team? What does bother you? And I will say this. I know I hate talking about injuries because it applies to everybody, but when you talk about A.J. Brown, you talk about Devontae Smith, and they're banged up. You also talk about the workload of Saquon Barkley from a year ago. What is the concern? You talk about what's going on in the offensive line right now with Brett Toast still looking like your left guard starter until Landon Dickerson's ready to go. That is, and that could be week one. But what is the major concern right now? I ask you guys that right now. I'll also get your answers on that when we come back after this quick stop on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. And just like that, we're back. While you guys mull that question over, do you guys need any more time? You want me to take a comment? You want me to get the comment?
I
Harry,
can go
fire
first.
it off. What do you got?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Well, I was always talking about the third, fourth wide receiver situation back when we started this show. I wanted to see that position strengthened. But now that they got Mechie in there, I'm feeling a lot better about that. They kept Darius Cooper, my Tarleton State guy, on there, who I didn't even know existed. But he had that bust-out game against the Bengals, and from then on must have just
He earned it.
impressed him so much that he made. So I'm feeling a lot better about that position. I got to go safety. I mean, really, you're looking at three safeties on here with Blankenship, Brown, and Makuba. And Makuba's seems to be oft injured. Sidney Brown could get hurt at any moment. So, I mean, that to me is the only, and that's the only one to me. That's a concern. That's
Safety is the only position where you're going,
only one.
Don't know about that one, Howie. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Jason, what do you got?
Well, I kind of look at this thing with Mechie a little different. Why did they do it? Are they doing it because they know that A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith may be a little more tenuous than we think? I always try to go, well, what's the motivation in making the deal, right? And the motivation there, is it protection because they feel like, oh, this is something that could really, you're talking about a hamstring with
groin
A.J.
with
Brown.
Smith,
and a groin. Yeah, I mean, these are things that are, you don't just, it's not like it's fixed. They can linger through an entire season, and you just can't get it right. And you got to, it keeps the medical staff, they're constantly getting treatment with the soft tissue, things like that. Do they know something, and that's why they went out and made the deal for Mechie? So that's a little concerning because I'm looking at that motivation. But the obvious answer is what Harry said. We're really going to be putting this under a microscope if we're going to find something offensively that you feel really kind of disconcerted about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some reports that Hurts didn't look good parts of camp. I mean, come on. I mean,
no, that was just Joe Giglio saying that.
Yeah, I'm just not going to go there. You know,
Stop.
like I think it's ridiculous when the bullets are firing. I got all the faith in the world that dude's going to be ready. You know,
Yeah.
Why? Because he has been. So I can't like manufacture some drama that's not there. I think it'd be silly and disingenuous. So I mean, really, the only thing is that maybe the left guard spot, if you want, pending injury, but we're always worried about that. But other than that, no, I'm not really worried. I mean, Dallas Goedert, I'm glad he's back, and I'm not worried about it. But he needs to stay healthy too. There's not tons of depth there. So, but again, I mean, this is like under a microscope.
Well, he needs to stay healthy for his bank account in the future too.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I mean, he can get a real good payday after this year.
Absolutely. I also just want to point out, obviously, the Johnny Wilson situation happened after they signed Mechie. So it wasn't like, oh, well, we're worried about him. He had somebody they acquired Mechie. Somebody, I forget who it was at practice. Was it Toth? I can't remember. Landed on his leg. And then that led to the injury with Johnny Wilson. So it wasn't like they were looking to replace or even knew Johnny Wilson was going to go down or get surgery or anything like that. So
that's that timeline.
Exactly. So just want to make sure I stress that. Louie, what are you worried about?
I think for me, it's edge depth. I think Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt are going to continue to break out in 2025, but I still have questions about Azeez Ojulari. It was good to see him get pressure in that sack against Cleveland in the second preseason game, but like they clearly didn't see enough because he was dressed and playing or getting ready to play in that finale against New York. Uche, like, who knows what you have in him at the end of the year. Last year for Kansas City, he was a healthy scratch. They did keep Agbo Okunrakwo today as their fifth edge. Been a guy that's had at least 3 to 5 sacks in the last 3 years in Cleveland. So, that, you know, between those three options, I'm sure one of them will pan out as a solid rotational third guy. But you're putting a lot of pressure on Jalix Hunt to really step up and replace Josh Sweat. And there are some options out there in free agency that I still like Zadarius Smith, who's mulling options right now, had 9 sacks last year for Cleveland to Detroit. Like, is a player like that of interest? Matthew Judon, Jadeveon Clowney. Like, there are some names, and we know Howie Roseman doesn't like to settle with pass rushers. So I feel like if there was a move to be made, like everybody's talking about corner and safety for obvious reasons, but I do wonder if they're satisfied as of right now with Ojulari and Uche as those 3 and 4. So I think for me, it's edge depth.
Yeah, I know we talked a lot about safety. We talked about the third cornerback, if you will. But this is something that everything we heard from Vic Fangio leading up to the last preseason game was about the competition. And Jacorian Bennett all of a sudden really thrust himself into that competition at the outside corner spot. And then everybody else, like Makuba, even despite the injuries, he stepped up and played well in his limited participation in the preseason. The one spot that didn't meet or get even Adoree Jackson, well, this is the time to prove it because he didn't prove it in Carolina, didn't prove it out there with the Giants, and now he's got to prove it here. Well, he apparently has been better than Keely Ringo, even maybe marginally, but better. The one position group that didn't rise to the expectation or to the bar set by Vic Fangio is the edge rusher position. Who stepped out? What, Uche was playing well, and then he got hurt as well. Ojulari's out there in the last preseason game. Like, who stepped up? Who really rose to the challenge set by Vic Fangio? So when I look at the outside corner spot, I say, well, there are guys that climbed the ladder there as requested by the defensive coordinator. Makuba, when he got out there, although, again, banged up, he looked good when he was out there. And then the edge rusher position, yeah, nobody was rising to the top. And this is a spot that I am factoring in the idea of having Jalen Carter in the middle of that defensive line make things a hell of a lot easier for the guys out there on the edge, not just Hunt, and also not just Nolan Smith, but for Uche, also for Ojulari. They haven't stepped up. Uche has been a little bit better, apparently, in training camp and in preseason. But all in all, no one's really taken the reins like Vic Fangio has requested. So nobody's rising to the top there. That also gives me concern because the Eagles have had depth there. I mean, think about it like this. Last year, you had Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt as third and fourth options behind Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham.
Yeah. Yep.
And Brandon Graham, I know the sexy numbers weren't there with sacks and all that stuff, but he absolutely balled out last year. You could make an argument it was his best year. So for me, I look at that edge rusher position as well, Louie. right after safety. And I look at it and I go, what are we doing here? Because this is still a concern. And if Howie's right, we ain't done. We're not done yet. Well, okay, let's get cooking. Season, as you said many times already, 9 days away. I'd like to see some work done there.
And specifically, like with run defense, that's what I'm concerned about. Because I think Nolan, Jalix Hunt, like Ojulari consistently gets like 5 to 8 sacks a year when he's healthy. Uche's had a double-digit sack season. Like, he has a second-round talent for a reason. So I think they'll get to the quarterback. But, like, run defense specifically, I think Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham were very underrated in that department. They were bigger defensive ends, whereas right now you're kind of small at that position. That's another reason I kind of like the idea of Zadarius Smith, because he is a bigger player. I just wonder about that spot with, run defense too. So I don't know. I think for kind of like safety and corner, I think early on in the season, I don't think you're going to see any big moves before the year starts. I think those trades already happened, like the Jacorian Bennett move. That was their corner move. At safety, I don't know if that move's coming yet. I think they're going to really let these guys at edge, safety, and corner play through this. Like, let's see what we have for the first month or two. And then before the trade deadline, if we have to make a move, we do. But I think they do want to kind of see this through to start the year first, and then kind of see what's out there. Because at outside corner, Asante Samuel Jr. is not playing this year, it doesn't sound like, or at least till the second half. So Rasul Douglas got signed today. The options are kind of being depleted. So it's not like there's just a bunch of guys just waiting to be had.
Yeah. Real quick, Wednesday, by the way, the Eagles are going to be back in practice on Wednesday, tomorrow, that is. And then they're going to have players addressing the media at 4, and then Thursday have another practice at 1:30, and then players address the media again, just for as far as the rest of this week goes. That's according to Eagles PR. I just got that information. When we come
a shortened week 1, you got to start things a little earlier, because week 1 starts on a Thursday for them.
Thursday night. Actually, before we go to break, I want to do one more as far as surprises go, because we've talked. Harry, you mentioned the safety position again, and none of this means that this is the house of cards, the card to be removed. But Andre Sam, I thought, played very well for a guy I really didn't expect a lot from. I look at Perry Nickerson as a guy that played well at the corner position. Andre Sam, a guy that played well at the safety position. Now he's got another opportunity to come back on the Eagles practice squad, but just a little surprised with how the safety position has gone with the injuries. We didn't see Andre Sam just added to the roster there.
He's had 2 good summers in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he goes back to the practice squad because they only have 3 there. Simmons will be signed by Sunday.
There we go.
That's what's going to happen.
Thank you, Harry.
Order the jersey.
No love for Tristan McCullum. He was kept too. Well. He's the 4th guy.
Yeah, that's true. He's maintaining his status. He's maintaining his status.
I'm meh.
Just a guy.
It's meh.
Yeah, exactly. That's a perfect way. Just a guy and meh.
Yeah.
2. I think that actually says.
I think I'd rather be a bust in the NFL than be just a guy. I think that's
definitely.
even more insulting.
Yeah, the bank account doesn't agree.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
That's
I would
fair.
love to be.
Well, if you're a
NFL
first-round
player.
bust, you get that top rookie contract at least for a bit.
Yeah,
just make me a 10-year guy. I'll be 10 years of meh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. When we come back after another quick break, I want to take some comments on here, see what the listeners, see what the viewers are saying about this cutdown day. Also, by the way, worth pointing out, just to acknowledge it because we haven't mentioned it yet, Nakobe Dean still on the pup. I think he tweeted out or put out there on Instagram week 5. Week 5.
Yeah.
Week 5. That'll be interesting. We will discuss that as well a little bit later. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Back after this quick stoppage. Oh, and I'll do our promo coming up in a little bit because we are asking for some feedback from our listeners and our viewers, by the way, to help us out here at Locked On. We'll get to that in a little bit. But first, let's address some of these questions that our fine audience has in our YouTube channel chat. I'm going to get to this one first, and I will say I see some other people calling him for it. But Louie, got to start with you, bud. Ringo doesn't have the heart.
Wow.
It's such an
That's
overreaction.
personal.
That's uncalled for.
You know what's funny?
Personal attack on.
It doesn't even sound like he's getting shredded. It was one play in the preseason that made people like completely overreact.
Yeah, and it was against that scrub, Jamar Chase.
Right. Ringo had 3 really good pass coverage reps in a row, and then he got burned. It was a terrible play, and it definitely showed his liabilities. But it was one play. It's like everybody's been at practice watching him suck every day, and it's like, I haven't heard that. I mean, he hasn't earned the job. He hasn't won it. But I haven't heard of Dory Jackson or Jacorian Bennett balling out either. So I know the expectations were on Ringo, but he's just kind of taken all the blunt of it. And, like, Dory's been terrible, in my opinion. And he's going to start, though. It's nothing wrong with him.
Now this is thinking outside the box here. Takeem Hilton right here. Can Brett Toth return kicks? I think he's on.
He can't even snap the ball. I don't want to return.
Can he snap it and then get down in coverage?
Where I like it. There we go.
Don't tell him that though, or he'll tweet out a giant lecture about it.
Wait, who will?
Brett Toth. He took
is he
offense to
big
someone
on-
saying he can't snap. He went off on X a couple weeks ago.
Did he? Good.
I missed.
I didn't even know he was on X.
He went off on a beat reporter.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that's.
Oh, really?
geez.
Oh, who got the ire?
Who was the reporter?
Brandon Lee Gouton.
Oh,
BLG.
BLG.
I hate
Come
to do
on,
it to him.
bud.
Can we give him one of those, Harry?
That's great. All right, there you go. We're good. Just thumbs up. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Carlton Ferguson is saying. There you go. Thank you. Little G Griffin, Eagles keep Aeneas Smith and Ringo.
They waived Aeneas Smith.
I think he wanted
they
him.
waived
Maybe
Aeneas
he wanted
Smith.
him to keep Aeneas Smith. Maybe.
Yeah, they
Oh, I'm
waived
sorry.
him, but they
Maybe.
didn't.
He'll probably end up on the practice
Release.
squad.
He probably will.
I can't see him getting claimed.
Maybe
By the
he's
way-
on the roster for the 53-man against the Cowboys and the fullback's off.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The return punts.
There were a lot of
Needed it.
returners that
Yeah.
got released today that I kind of like better than him. Like Mecole Hardman got released, DeAndre Carter, who used to be an Eagle, KJ Hamler. So Britton Covey got released today too. I don't know if we want to renew him with him, but the Rams released Covey. So I think there's some
Slice of
better
meatball.
options for the return game than Aeneas Smith.
Covey, I think he's a
Jonathan-
BYU guy too.
That's exactly right, Harry.
Yeah.
There we go. Jonathan Harvey, what's up, Jonathan? Nice to see you, man. Perry wasn't making it, and he will return to practice squad most likely.
Probably.
Nickerson?
Brett Toth be the long snapper. Apparently, he can't do it
He
according
can't
to
even snap
Brandon
as a
Lee
center.
Gouton.
So now you're going to ask him to back up even more. That's no.
Oh boy. Ben Van Sumer will be the long snapper. We're getting more creative as we go. Joel Perez Martinez. That's why fantasy sucks. Oh, because you got to root for maybe some team you hate.
For the Cowboys.
Just
Yeah.
don't take him.
By the way, have you guys started any of that Netflix series?
I
on,
did. I saw the first 2 episodes. It's
I'm
great.
not keeping Jerry relevant. He can start his drama with Micah Parsons to stay in the headlines. I'm not watching it.
It's great.
See, Louis not going to watch it because he wasn't alive
Yeah,
when that
exactly.
took place. That's like
That's because I wasn't
historical-
alive the last time they were relevant. That's why
was
he's
my-
making this documentary.
Yeah,
That's right. Just like
exactly.
Michael
Yeah.
Jordan's Last Dance. He saw LeBron taking over the league. Jerry sees the Eagles taking over the league. They have to do this to stay in the headlines.
Yeah.
He
I'll
won't
say
watch
this.
giving him numbers.
It's like Harry watching World War II footage. It
Yeah.
happened before he was born. But maybe World War One, Harry.
Yeah.
I was born in 97. It was right at the end of their run.
Know Thy Enemy. That's why I'm watching it. Know Thy Enemy. And everything I thought I knew about Jerry Jones, I now know him to be worse. That's what I've gotten.
Maybe
out
I'll
of-
watch it then. Maybe I'll watch it.
I mean, put it this way: if you really like sports, the Cowboys, unfortunately, are a big part of it.
Yeah.
Especially football. But I like it as Know Thy Enemy. And Jerry, for all I know about Jerry Jones, and look, I don't remember when he bought the Cowboys. I remember the Cowboys winning 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. That's what I remember. I don't remember a lot of the history. I was young, but I just knew I hated him. Put it that way. And then watching this, it makes you go, okay. Like there are definite. I'll say this for people. There are definitely parts that you look at it and go, okay, Jerry, enough with the "I'm not that bad as everybody says I am" type of thing. Like I'm seeing right through this BS.
Yeah, it's boring.
But you just take it because that's his side of the story. That's his side of the story.
Well, there was a lot of truth to that when he unceremoniously let go of Tom Landry. That was he took a lot of heat for that.
Absolutely.
I remember that.
Because of the way it played out.
Well, but Landry was awful. That team was
shot.
awful the past 3 years that he was there. They stunk.
No,
He actually deserved to get fired, but they should have done it in a better way.
He should have bowed out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Didn't happen that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
They should have
Absolutely.
mutually agreed to part ways. That's how you do it now.
Yeah.
They
Bump
should have
him
dissolved the
upstairs,
team.
Give him some cush little job upstairs. That's what
Yeah,
the
right.
Flyers would have done. Oh, sorry.
There's no reason to be throwing that kind of
Sorry.
shrapnel around.
I don't know where that came
Last
from.
I checked, Torts isn't in the front office.
No, I'm talking
He's
about
on the farm.
Thank God.
Torts. Talking about one of them relics from the Broad Street Bullies.
I'm not
Those
even
guys.
dignify this with a response.
Here we go. Here, Swoop Boys Entertainment. There you go. Sam Howell looked like Peyton Manning against the 30th ranked defense. I think that's a shot at Jonathan Gannon. Is that a shot at Jonathan Gannon?
Or that was Sean Desai,
play
actually.
safety?
John Desai.
Even worse. Even worse.
Yeah.
Can Dave
What were you saying,
Spadaro
Jason?
play safety? I saw him running those steps at the preseason.
Oh, yeah, he
game.
does that every time, apparently.
and
Spuds
he's
would fit in
staying
perfect for
fit.
this show's aesthetic.
Yeah.
Spuds,
with no
Spuds
hat.
Yeah.
He's in shape, man.
And then he
He's in
doesn't
shape.
take a shower. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
When he
Sorry,
runs
what was
the
that?
steps, he doesn't take a shower afterwards, puts on his Eagles polo that they have him wear for the
Well,
game.
that's not all the time.
And then does the game because it was so hot. He's like, why take a shower?
Why take a shower and just
Well, he doesn't have to
sweat
wash his
again?
hair, so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I thought you would identify with that, Martinez.
absolutely. If I have to take a
Stinky
shower in the
hockey
morning
players.
before work, I get done a beer league game at 11:45 at night at the barn.
Yeah,
You
right.
shower in the morning. You sleep in the
course.
filth.
I used to play
Not like a
goalie.
hockey
I used to play
game.
roller goalie at night at like midnight. No
Wow.
way. I have to shower after that.
Oh yeah, I'd take my gear off and I'd be drenched to the
Good
bone.
Lord.
There is such a nostalgic. That is such a nostalgic smell for someone who's been
Oh, I
removed
love
for a very long time.
I was going to say,
I
you
step
get
back-
one whiff of it, you won't be nostalgic anymore.
No, I do. I go, man, that smell. And
How
then I
about a
go,
good
yeah.
goalie equipment sitting in a hot summer car in a trunk is
Yeah.
Okay, now hold on a
That's
second. I don't
Jason's
hate
car.
myself.
You just described Jason's
Why I got a
car.
pickup truck because the
Yeah.
goalie bag would be in the back
oh,
of the
there's
pickup
that
truck, not in the
blocker I've
cab.
been looking for.
You want nostalgia for that? I'll drop the bag off at your house. You might.
I
pass
got one
out.
too. I'll
I'm
drop
good.
it off.
I brought it into the station one time, and Jamie put on my blocker and glove, and he couldn't.
Oh.
Like 3 days later, he's like, my hand still stinks.
Yeah,
That's
of
right.
course it does.
Yeah.
Good
The
Lord.
trapper. Harry.
Here we go. Toth has the eye of the tiger. Wait, there was somebody that asked for. Ted E says, "Do you guys see any big moves coming?" Justin Simmons Monday, as far as I'm concerned. Calling it again.
I guess Zadarius Smith or an edge rusher. That'd be my guess.
Okay. I'll go with that. I don't mind that. I do appreciate everyone joining us here on Locked On Eagle Squad. While you guys are here, tell a friend. Also, like and subscribe. You got Louie DiBiase right there covering you each and every day with your Locked On Eagles Daily podcast. You got Jason and Harry taking you through the season after each and every Eagles game. You got us talking birds throughout the week, so I look forward to doing that. And then also, I want to make sure everybody knows about this because this is very important because you can help us out and let us know how we could serve you, the sports fan, better than we are right now at Locked On Sports. Now, what we got going on right now is a listener survey, and we'd love for you guys to check this out. We have an important request for Locked On. Locked On wants to hear from you, our listeners, and our viewers. We put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcast even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't like, and answer questions about our advertising as well, if you'd be so gracious. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey. That's lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes the survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes as well. Thanks for helping us out. For Harry Mays.
Ted took the survey. Oh, he said, Venmo me money for the survey, but he said, give us a Jan Gorham quote. That's what he put on the survey. No more Barbaro. He died.
Yes. Wow.
I'd ask her when she came back from vacation, Jan, how was your vacation? She'd say, that's personal. Don't answer that. I was like, okay.
Wow.
She was awesome.
Oh man.
Louis, do you know Jan Gorham? Do you
I
know
didn't
of
want
the
to say
legend?
it, but I have no idea what you guys are talking
Okay.
You
about.
remember the time you spent listening?
She was an
Oh, my
update
God.
anchor for WIP back in the
I
day.
replaced.
All right.
I ended up doing the job
Classic.
after her.
I
so
would say
kinda
pre
learned
my
from her.
WIP era for sure. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you my favorite.
He remembers Bob Bombara
Yeah.
asking you to remember the time you spent listening, Harry.
All right.
Or Rob
This
Cherry.
one's dark. This one's dark. It's darker than Barbaro, but this is my favorite one. This is my favorite one. It's dark, and I'm sorry. I apologize in case anyone from Minnesota is watching. Kirby Puckett, he's dead. The end.
She said
Big
it like
Daddy,
that?
your microphone is on.
Kirby Puckett, he's dead.
Wow.
That was it. That was yeah. And then I believe one of the other opens was Kirby Puckett, he died. It was like she went
It's just
up
like Barbaro.
like Barbaro. It's like
Yeah.
good
No more
lord.
Barbaro. No beating a dead horse. He's died. Oh man,
Ted, this is funny to 4 people, and 2
Yeah,
of them
exactly.
are. Or
I'm
3 of them
ruining
are.
a chapter
4
in
of
the
us-
book.
Yeah. Oh god, this is so good. Thank you. Thanks everybody. You guys are fantastic as per usual. Like and subscribe to Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Louie DiBiase once again as you covered each and every day for your Locked On Eagles conversation. We got you covered for your Locked On Eagles squad shows. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next. What do we got? Thursday, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Catch you guys Thursday. See you Thursday. See you then. Have a good one. Bye.